Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting edition of Community Reports on Channels Television. I'm Victoria Idowu. On this episode of the show, we'll be talking about development, personal development, business development, financial development. Now, as we know, in recent years, life coaches have acquired a considerable presence in mainstream, with a growing number of creatives, executives, and entrepreneurs teaming up with life coaches to attain success in their professional and personal lives. Well, today we'll be speaking to a life coach, a business coach, and a financial coach. Stay with us. Every once in a while, we have a strong desire to improve on ourselves in order to be better at a skill, quality, or in order to maximize our potentials. When the need for personal development arises, there is a strong desire to consult coaches in that area that needs to be addressed. That's where the need for life coaches come in. A life coach is a type of wellness professional who helps make progress in one's life in order to attain greater fulfillment.
They want to go on what they're together. And you have to be very expressive.
For most coaches, this is how it all begins, advising people.
So it started by my interest and the things I like. So I started out by advising people. So I didn't know I was a coach. So I had friends who were always picking up my brains. Oh, let's ask Jules, let's ask Jules. Then I got pregnant for my fourth. So I was away from work for like 6-7 months. So I had a lot of time to read, to research, and I discovered me. I discovered my life's purpose. My job on earth is to help people become better. Know their potential, help them exceed it. That's just what I'm about. So it can be in your life, it can be in your business. So I enjoy the life one, and I will explain why. If you fix your life, if you fix you, every other thing seems to fall in place. But what we normally do is we do the outside in. We fix our husbands, we fix our jobs, we fix our careers, we fix everything, but we don't change us. And that's one of the reasons things we get are not sustained. The growth is not sustained. But if you can capture self, that is the beginning of that growth journey. So I work with people to know their potentials and to exceed it, to know their limitations, all the stories they tell themselves that limits them, which is sometimes as a result of their upbringing.
There usually is no pathway to becoming a coach or a certification required. All that is needed is the desire to see people succeed and grow in an area that you're competent in.
Fortunately and unfortunately, the coaching practice is not regulated. You don't have to be certified to be a coach. And that's one of the reasons the profession is really populated. Everybody is a coach. So because it is not a requirement that you should be certified. However, you get better when you become certified because you now understand the structure of coaching so you can help people better. So I am John Maxwell certified and I have other certification that I have gone through. But you don't have to be certified to be a coach. You just need to have that innate desire to help people have or be more.
One may somehow misinterpret the role a life coach plays to motivational speakers. But coaching comes in 3 levels of transformation.
Motivational speaking charges people up, makes them feel better. But coaching is among the 3 levels of transformation. Let me see if I can use that word. You have the training or the teaching, which is what we're all used to. We get that in school, where somebody has the knowledge and it comes basically to impact it. We have the mentoring or modeling, where somebody has what you want, or somebody has achieved what you want to achieve, and you basically meet the person to show you how he or she achieved it. So if I want to be the fastest runner in the world, I can meet Usain Bolt. He will show me what he did, tell me what he did. If I do them, I could now be the fastest man or woman on earth. That is modeling or mentoring. But coaching is more powerful. It's the same thing. It gets people to do what they should do or they should have done, right? But the difference in coaching now is it's not about the person being coached.
A person knows that he needs a coach when he becomes dissatisfied with his current level of achievement.
Do you want to have more? Do you want to do more? Do you want to change your corner of the world? Are you struggling? You know what you should do, but you're struggling to do it. You know what you should have, you're struggling to have it. Then you need a coach, a life coach. So a coach, what we do, we don't tell you the answers like the other practices that we say you should jump. You want to lose weight, diet. We don't tell you because we don't know whether it's diet that will work for you.
To help make progress, a life coach will ask powerful questions.
So we ask you, like we start with your foundational whys. Why do you want to lose weight? Why have you not lost weight? What do you think you would do or stop doing for you to lose weight? Do you see what I mean? You are the one that has the answer. So we ask powerful questions that would incite you to come up with the answers that will help you have that thing or be that thing that you want. So I don't have to be a professional. I don't have to be married to coach you in marriage. I don't have. That's why you see them in sports. You see that the coaches that coach in sports, they are not footballers. They probably have never played football professionally, but they coach. That's where the word came from. You don't have to be in that business to coach. All you have to do is know how to ask the right questions that will cause the person, the client, to go within the client to bring the solution to that thing that they seek.
Today on that dashboard. Please, let's use another dashboard.
A person using a coach must identify the growth pattern by setting achievable, realistic and measurable goals.
Whatever the person wants to achieve should be specific, should be measurable, should be achievable, should be realistic, and should be time-bound. I will explain. You tell me you want to make $1 million. That's very possible. So I will ask, you want to make money and be rich? Specific becomes rich how? Because you can be rich in the number of children you have, the number of houses you have. So you will not say, oh, in money. So that's S. Okay, so financial wealth. How much? In which currency? Now, it's not to say $1 million. $1 million what? Dollars, pounds, because they're all different. So that is measurable. You have measured it. So is it achievable? You're not working. You're not educated. You don't have inheritance. You are telling me to coach you to make $1 million. Is it achievable? So assuming it's achievable because you are working, you could save. Is it realistic to say you are making 10,000 naira a month? You want to make $1 million a month. Is it realistic? Based on the time, do you see? Then the T, which stands for time, is at what time frame would you say you want to achieve this $1 million? I'm using it for Go. I'm just using money as an example. So you tell me you want to go to Mars. I want to relocate to Mars. It's not realistic. So as a coach, we don't take on such tasks. We shouldn't take on such tasks. So the person is answering the questions. He's already knowing that it is not possible. So you tell me, I want to be rich. I'm like, wow, that is great. Why do you want to be rich? What would this extra wealth do for you? As people are talking to you, they are changing the goals already. You see that they don't care. It's about what people will think. I don't need this thing. Then you see their goals changing.
As a coach, it's important to determine how you would be paid for services rendered.
So the coaches have different types of charging model. Some charge by the hour, some charge by the program, some run programs. I have three programs I run. So each program has a fixed rate, irrespective of the goal. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So everybody has the way they charge. Depends on how premium you are. So if you go and treat your malaria in Reddington Hospital, and you go and treat your malaria the same malaria, but you know how it is. So it's like Uber and Boss. So it depends on your brand, positioning, the kind of clients you have, and how you charge your time.
There are two foundations from where people can pick up coaching, experience, and training.
Two foundations for being life coach, for life coaches, or coaches in general, not just life coaches. One, experience, which is the major, is really major. People have gone through something. So it comes from like a modeling framework, a mentoring framework, but they don't want people to go through what they went through. So if you check, for example, Nasi, who is a business coach, some of the struggles she has, she's coaching people not to have it. Do you see what I mean? So that is what is very popular for people to be that type of coaching. Then those who want to take coaching professionally, not because they experience it, but just like, I want to help people do this and do that. So both pathway are very, very good. The only thing you need to do is, because people's lives are in your hands, you see what I mean? Because you're like responsible, paid or unpaid, because some people coach for free. you now need to do things properly. Unfortunately, a lot of coaches I have met are not coaching, they are mentoring or they are teaching. No, there are 3 ways you pass knowledge. I explained the 3 to you. So they're telling you what to do. As you're telling that, I'm so tired, take Panadol. I'm adding with exercise. This is what I mean. Do you get the point? So that's teaching or mentoring. Because that's what works for me. If I exercise, I lose weight. No, coaching is not like that.
Life coaching is one aspect of coaching, and there is business coaching.
If you are coming to me, it's either you have, maybe there is any area of your business that you're having challenges with, or you're a small business owner that need more, that want to grow more. Because I realized that for me, most of the challenges I came across during my time in business was, most of them are structure-related challenges. From not managing my personal finance well, is also, at the end, it still go back to structure. For me, not knowing what to do, how to put system around my business to ensure that I can give my customers the best service, best customer service, best product, even in terms of quality. It all still boils down to structure at the end of the day.
Growing up from a very poor background, her mother's personal experience is what has given her the knowledge she needs to pass on to people.
Growing up, my mom was also in business, but she keeps starting all over again. She keeps starting all over again, which is what I see with more business owners today. She will start today, so that she get loan, put it here tomorrow. Most of those things were, we the children, we are the one that would have eaten up all the money, but I realized that all those things are still traced back to what I said before, lack of not being able to manage your your business finance well, and not being able to separate yourself from your business, which still leads me back to structure. So when I got that revelation, I was like, go and coach. Why? I didn't need it. So I continue my business, but at the time again, I got another warning to go. At that time, I had to pick all my luggage and say, okay, let me go and train. I've done business, practical business for 10 years at that time, but let me just go out there and look for anyone that can train me on how to be a coach. So I went online and I saw a certain consulting firm. I went there, enrolled, and I got trained. So I came out from there, then I started coaching.
Talking business, Nancy gives us an insight into creating a good business structure.
Let me just focus on 3 aspects. Number 1, your operations, your finances, and how you handle your employees as you begin to hire them. Because as your workload or your demand begin to increase, definitely you will need people to come on board. So number 1, your finances is very important. A lot of business people overlook how they manage their finance, and they keep complaining. And the truth is, in that your business can grow if you can manage your finances well. The other aspect of finances that a lot of people overlook is their mindset, in the sense that most people don't think their business can actually grow.
Money, which is a major factor for business development, needs to be properly managed.
Check your fixed expenses and say, okay, this rent is compulsory, I must pay it at the end of the year. Okay, my rent is, for instance, maybe 600,000 in a year. In a month is 50,000. So how can you set aside that 50,000 as part of your expenses for that month? Because a lot of people, most times, small business owners, we forget that something like rent is part of our cost. So we just focus on only the day-to-day expenses, and it will even affect their pricing too.
A growing business also needs a working team to help push the business forward. That's why employing the right people and managing them well is key to business development.
A lot of people don't have clear expectation from their staff. Their staff does not even have, they don't have JD, they don't have job description. They don't even know what they want to do. Your staff is confused. They get to office every morning. They don't even know what to do. So you can't manage people that don't know what is expected of them well. Then number 2, most organizations, especially the small business owner, they don't even have staff handbook. The staff does not know what is supposed to be done, the do's and don'ts of their organization. So they come in, they are just looking. So they scream, you are like, don't scream. They talk low. Why are you talking slowly? So they are confused. You are even confusing them. So it is important as business owner, whether small business owner, to put clear expectation rules. There should be procedures to how you want your things to be done. Like I get a lot of people say, how do you get your staff to do what you want to do? They can actually do what you want to do if you can take that time to document what you want. You document it and pass it to them. Then they know, okay, this is how we speak here. This is how we greet customers here. This is how, because what you want is in your head. You can only pass it to them if you document it. Once you document it and give it to them, you realize they will even do it better than you. Why? Because they will study it and understand what you want and do it. But you as a business owner, you might even deviate sometimes if you are not following the process. So it is important that we have documented processes in place, give them clear expectation, let them know what they are hired for.
Customer service is also a key factor to business development.
Customers are the people that brings in the main money into the organization, or that helps us to even achieve the goals, the financial goals that we set. So for me, I decided that I will treat customers well. Customers can be, we say customers are always right. Customers can come out to really get you angry, but I've train myself to always try as much as possible to solve customers' problems, because it's only when you solve their problems that you can get more customers to come in and you can make more money. So I realize in this part of the world, we are neglecting that customer service thing. But let me tell you, the real money is going to start coming from that aspect, because a lot of things we do is online, is social. So if you decide not to treat your customer well, it will be out there.
She gives us an insight into some of the business lessons she learned growing up and how it affected the way she does business now.
So growing up for me was, well, I always say I grew up in a very poor home, but I really enjoyed it because it made me who I am today. My mom has been an entrepreneur for years, so some of the things I do today, I actually learned it from my upbringing, from my growing up days. Even though some of the things I learned was not the right one, but as I begin to grow, I begin to sit down to analyze what happened. Why didn't we get this result? Because my mom was very prudent. So when you talk about, so I see a lot of people say, I'm prudent, I don't waste money. My mom is very prudent. She's a very good business person, but yet her business fund never goes. So she gets money today, tomorrow is finished. Next week, she gets more loan into the business and it's gone. So, but I realized that one of the reasons that could happen was because she did not separate herself from her business. So she was always using the old business fund to cook for us. We were so important to her, which is not bad. So she can just take all her business fund and get us everything to eat. So every time the business keep going down. But what I can learn from that and I can share with people is that know your profits.
To manage one's business properly, there is a need to know how to manage one's personal finance.
So a business coach focuses on businesses. And when we talk about coaching in business, it's diverse. You're talking about structure, you're talking about systems, you're talking about operations, logistics, marketing, technology, finance. But as a finance coach, you are zooming into finances. You're trying to help people understand how they can make it, how they can manage it, how they can multiply it. If we break that down a bit, you're talking about how people can earn more money, right? How they can plan and budget and save, and then how they can invest, talking about multiplying their money.
And with her background as a chartered accountant, her personal life experience is a major propeller to becoming a coach.
I qualified as a chartered accountant about 2 decades ago, and for a better part of my career, my finances were all over the place. So I was a chartered accountant, but my finances were scattered. So the mistake a lot of people make is that you think by going to school, by having a qualification, by having a degree, by having a master's degree, you automatically can manage your finances. But the ball game is different. Financial literacy is different. So for me, I went through a lot of tough times. I was earning well, but I was always broke. Like 1 week after I got my salary, I was broke. But over time, I, devoted time into researching how I could become more, thrifty, more serious with my finances, how I could make my money work for me. And then over the years, I got some certifications as well. So basically, it was the experience for me. And then I learned how, and then I became passionate about teaching people how to, make the best of their finances.
Spending money is a no-brainer. That's why financial literacy is very important.
Whether you have a business or not, financial literacy is key for everybody at whatever level. So I like to tell people two things. I say, yeah, we encourage you to have multiple sources of income. But the truth is that there are multiple outlets through which your money flow. You know, you're talking about school fees if you're married, you're talking about house rent, you're talking about necessities, nice to have, you're talking about need to have. So these things are there. Number one, expense is, and spending money is sacrosanct, which is number one reason why you should be financially literate. But I'll come back to what financial literacy is. Now, if you live in a climate like ours, there are a lot of things also contending with your finances. We have inflation, we have devaluation and currency risks. Example, if you had 360,000 naira last year, January 2020, you know what? You could buy $1,000. But today, with 360,000, you can buy $1,000. So there are things within your control, but there are more things outside of your control.
Budgeting, an aspect a lot of people don't like to talk about.
So basically, I tell people a budget is like a navigator. So when I was coming here this morning from my house, he told me it would take me 25 minutes. And then on the map, I saw areas where there were likely to be traffic. That's what budgeting does for you. In the world of personal finance, a budget will show you how much you're earning, how much you're expecting. Don't have one source, by the way, but that's not for now. So if you are expecting 250,000 naira, for example, that is the inflow. How are you going to spend them? So I tell people, everybody has a need to have list, a nice to have list. Need to have are the things that you necessarily must spend money on. Right?
It's easy to budget when you have a steady source of income. In a situation where as a businessman, the inflow of cash is not on a monthly or a regular basis, what do you do?
For those whose income is irregular, like you are a 9-to-5 person, you can adopt what I said. But for those business owners, there are some business owners who don't even make money on a monthly basis. So the way I would like to answer that is, a season like this where inflation is so high, you have to look for ways to augment your income, additional income, additional skills, partnerships, collaborations. Some of us have the time, we do not have the access. You know somebody who has access. Combine efforts, start a business. And COVID has showed us that businesses do not have to be brick and mortar. You can do business from the comfort of your home. Last weekend, I was talking to a group of ladies in the US. That's what the world has become.
Talking about savings and investment, how can that be properly managed?
Saving is putting money aside. Investing is putting money to work. Do you see the difference? So what a lot of people do is they put the money aside, fair enough, but they leave it in the bank. When an emergency comes, they dip their money into it. And now, because of the economic climate, even regular savings accounts do not return anything substantial. And that's why we are saying a lot of people should look more into investing. So start with saving, build a muscle, 10% or 20% of your money, put it aside. So when you put the money aside, then put it to work, okay? On a monthly basis, the good thing about investing is even with 5,000 naira, you can start investing.
It's important to note that just saving money in a savings account will not create wealth, but investing properly.
Get the literacy and then you choose what you want to invest in. But please be wary of people who will say, give us your money, we'll invest, give you 50%, return in 1 month, in 2 months. Again, personal finance, building wealth is a marathon.
When you plan to invest, it's important to seek knowledge because there are various platforms these days that can't be trusted.
No traditional investment will promise you 40% in 1 month. Even in Nigeria right now, the best you can get is maybe 12 or 13% in cash and cash equivalents and even in fixed income. But agro-allied is another sector, and we all know why the agro-allied sector can offer you more, because everybody eats.
Shola shares a personal experience she has had with Ponzi schemes.
I was a chartered accountant, as much as I'm still a chartered accountant. And I called a friend abroad and said, and we pulled money together, 1 million about 14 years ago, and we put it into this supposed investment. What were they investing? Nothing. We went to their physical office. Yeah, it was just like a small office. Then we put our money. 2 weeks before our time, they closed.
Personal development is important, so the need for coaches.
On Friday.
Development in our personal life is key to growth. If you get it right personally, you're most likely going to get it right in other areas of your lives. So take time to learn and grow. And that's where we draw the curtain on the show today. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed any part of the show, you can check it on our YouTube channel. You can also send your comments to the social media handles showing on your screen. Till I see you again next week, or maybe not. Do have yourself a lovely evening. I'm Victoria Idu. Bye for now.